For the fourth year in a row, members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association have been raising hundreds of pounds, thousands of pounds for the Royal British Legion by selling poppies as part of the annual poppy appeal. And youth leader for the Herts region, Omair Ahmad, was one of those selling poppies with a group of young Muslims over the past week and joins me in the studio. Good morning.
Morning, Helen.
First off, tell me where you and your groups have been.
Sure. So just to give you a bit of background, we've been working with the Royal British Legion for, as you said, about 4 years now. So we're into our fourth year, and to date we've helped them and supported them in collecting over £45,000.
Wow.
This year we've worked nationally, so as far as Wales, London, the Middlesex region, Hertfordshire, up into the Midlands, North West, North East. So really nationally we've supported them in volunteering our boys to go out there and collect on their behalf. Locally, we've been collecting at the Brent Cross shopping centre. We were there last Sunday. We had about 40 volunteers there. About 22 of those were from the Hertfordshire region. So for us, that covers Luton, Milton Keynes, Cambridge, Watford, and we had about 22 volunteers there in total, and we collected about £2,000, which is really encouraging.
And you say boys, how young are we talking?
Boys, we class them as boys. Our membership within our youth association ranges from 16 to 40, and they're really active members of the group. They like to do lots of charitable work, and supporting Poppy Appeal is a key objective for us every year.
Are you surprised then that there's been so much interest in this story, in Muslims selling poppies? Because my thinking is that wearing a poppy is not about a religion, it's about remembering those who've fallen, regardless of religion.
I think that's absolutely right. I think a campaign like this should unite us. We should be one people. I think unfortunately there's a perception within society that's been created by a minority, and unfortunately some of that minority are minority Muslims who have basically have really said that wearing a poppy is really supporting war, and that's something we as an organisation completely reject. We see it absolutely as an act of remembrance, a remembrance for those who have fallen, who have fought for this country, for those who have been injured, for their families. And actually our religion, our faith, teaches us to support the most needy in society, and as the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association, that's one of our core principles and objectives, is to support those in need regardless of their circumstances. So we do various charity work throughout the year, and again the Poppy Appeal is one of our key priorities throughout the year, and we've got a really great working relationship with the Royal British Legion.
Anjem Chowdhury, the radical preacher, earlier on this week said that all Islamic leaders who encourage Muslims to wear or sell poppies would burn in hellfire. That's obviously not what you believe. But do the words of people like him affect you and affect moderate Muslims?
Well, firstly, it's fortunate for us that Anjem Chowdhury doesn't speak for most of the Muslims in this country. He specifically doesn't speak for the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association. We're an auxiliary body of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association, which is a wider body. It does create negative perceptions of both our faith and what we do. But, you know, Helen, that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to counter those perceptions. We certainly don't blame people for thinking the way they do, because there are elements within society, within the Islamic faith, who do, unfortunately, with their actions, negative actions, create those misperceptions. But it's our duty as British Muslims to actually stand up to those individuals and say, you know what, we're here to play a really, really positive contribution within society.
How do you tackle that misunderstanding then? Because he gets publicity for things like this.
He does, but at the end of the day, so do we. That's exactly one of the reasons why we're trying to do this. Obviously, we're not doing this for PR, but at the same time, one of the reasons we are doing this is to actually inform people that Islam is a religion of peace, and Islam actually encourages charitable acts. And that's one of the main reasons why we're doing the Poppy Appeal, in that we are integrated members of British society, and we are here to play a really, really positive role. And we don't consider ourselves Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, Christians, people of no faith. And actually, when it comes to this type of appeal, it's about remembrance. And for us, obviously, there are individuals who go out on the front line and serve to defend the very freedoms that we enjoy in this country today. And it's critical that we try and keep those people in our thoughts throughout the year, but specifically during this time of remembrance.
What kind of response did you get then when you were selling the poppies?
We got a very, very positive response actually from everyone, from our youth members, because one of the reasons we do this is actually to also educate our own youth in terms of Remembrance Day, what the 2-minute silence stands for, what Remembrance Day stands for, and really the only way we can do that is to actively have our members out there doing the outreach and actually being involved in the activities, because I think when you're actually involved in the activities itself, that's really kind of when it's kind of really hits you that actually you're involved in something which is really important, not only to some of the people around you, but also to the society at large. And I think, it's important for all British Muslims to try and engage with that. Wider than that, we've had some really, really positive coverage from and support actually from senior people as well, from the Prime Minister, from the Deputy Prime Minister, from Boris Johnson, the London Mayor of London, and also from more kind of local civic leaders, councillors, with our more localised activity. They've been really, really positive. I remember I was speaking to someone last Sunday, and he specifically, this is, I think, quoting him, he specifically said to me that it's really, really positive to see so many young British Muslims out there collecting for the poppy appeal. And actually what he said to me is it's changed his perception of the way he sees certain British Muslims in this country. I think, it was striking for a lot of people at Brent Cross Shopping Centre, the fact that there were so many British Asian Muslim youngsters who were out there volunteering, and I think that creates a really positive impression, but not only for our faith, but also for the youngsters in this country as well.
See, I actually think the young aspect of it is something interesting to explore as well, let alone the religious side of it.
Yeah.
You don't see young people selling poppies generally. I haven't seen any young people selling poppies on my travels, so actually that attracts interest as well, doesn't it? Young people getting involved. And I wonder if there is a wider issue here of teaching our young people, regardless of religion, more about what the poppy means and the symbolism of it for our country.
Absolutely right. I think there is an educational gap within this country, and that's something that we as an organisation are obviously trying to fill with our own members. But obviously through doing the outreach, we hope some of that messaging filters down to other youngsters who maybe aren't part of our organisation, but actually through us being visible, through our youngsters being visible, that kind of rubs off on them as well.
I think you're right.
So that's something we're actively trying to do.
Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
You're welcome.
It's been very interesting.
Thanks for
and we look forward to hearing more next year.
Thank you.
More money
Thank
raised. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Omair Ahmad from the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association for the Herts region. We're representing the whole of the organisation.
To keep up to date with the latest videos from the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association, subscribe to the MK UK Videos YouTube channel. Or, for more information about the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, log on to www.alislam.org.